In the next two lessons, we're going to be talking about GoPro footage, and we're going to be using this GoPro footage to talk about two important concepts that you're going to need to understand. In the first lesson, we're going to talk about getting in and correcting that fisheye look that you can sometimes get depending on the type of shots that you're getting with your GoPro camera. Then in our next lesson, we're going to address another common issue with GoPro footage, and that is the shaky cam. When you get your footage back, it's a little bit too shaky, and you need to get in and do some stabilization. We're going to talk about that in our next lesson. But the first thing that we're going to need is some GoPro footage to work with. And I just so happen to have some footage that I shot while I was on vacation. And you can see, much like I just mentioned, that we have a couple issues going on here. One is a bit of a warping issue that you can see happening going out towards the edge of the frame. Now, the easiest way to see any warping that's going on is to always try to find something like a horizon. Now, in this case, the horizon is at a bit of an angle. But once I make the correction, you're going to really see what the difference is between the original, which is this, and what's going to be the corrected version when we are done. And the second issue that you can see is we have a camera shake going on, especially right there off the top. But in this lesson, let's just talk about fixing this lens correction problem that we have going on. I'm just going to take this footage, I'm going to bring it down into my timeline. Now, one thing that I really like about getting in and doing the lens correction inside of Premiere is that you can be very specific. Assuming you know the type of footage that you shot with the camera, you can get in and correct this issue literally in a matter of seconds. And how we do it is to navigate over to the Effects tab, and I'm going to come to our presets. Inside of our presets, I'm going to come down to the appropriately named Lens Distortion Removal section. I'm going to twirl that down, and you'll notice I sort of spoiled it a little bit right here by having the GoPro already dropped down. But you'll see that we have two categories. We have the DJI and the GoPro. For us, we're using the GoPro, and I know that I shot this with a Hero 3 Black camera. Now, I also know, because I did shoot this footage, but if you didn't, you could right-click on your footage, navigate down to its properties to see the size of the clip. In this case, the image size is 2704 by 1524, which means we're going to be working with the 2.7K wide preset. So all I need to do is to simply take that preset, drag it over here, drop it onto our clip, and you'll see that in literally a matter of seconds, this shot's lens correction has now been fixed, and it's now ready for the most part to be dropped into a timeline. Now, what do I mean for the most part? Well, again, we were talking about this pesky camera shake that we're going to need to get rid of before we actually use it in our production. So let's talk about that in our next lesson.